I just thought it was a good idea maybe to meet with everyone today. First and foremost, just want to talk about Josh Norris. After consulting with 5 doctors and 2 experts on shoulders, Josh has a different injury than he previously had. He will not require surgery at this point in time. There's no timeline except that we'll know more in the new year about a possible return.
When you say it's not the same, so is this from the one that he had in January? So it's completely different?
Completely different. Completely different part of the shoulder. We initially thought that he would require surgery. Last week he went and met with 2 specialists, and they both indicated that with this type of injury, we could look at rehab and strengthening, and that's what he's going to do until the new year. And at that point in time, we'll see what path we go down, but we just feel the timeline, if he has surgery now or has it in, let's just say, in the new year, doesn't affect anything because it's probably a 6-month thing.
So is there ever a chance he'll need surgery on this, depending if the rehab doesn't work?
I'm not a doctor, so I'd like the medical experts to more answer that than me. But at the same time, I don't know. All I know is that we'll have an update in January, and at that point in time, we'll see, or the new year, and at that point in time, we'll see where we're going to go with Josh.
So it's not dislocated?
Again, it's a different type of injury. It's not a dislocation, from what I'm told.
Strain?
No, I'm sorry, Mark, that I'm not exactly more with the details, but all I know is it's something that doesn't happen a lot in hockey, and I wish I knew more medically because I don't want to say something that it's not exactly it, but all I know is that, giving you the facts, is that we all thought he'd need surgery. After consulting with 5 doctors, 2 specialists, especially the 2 experts on the matter, said no, he does not require surgery at this point in time. Rehab it, strengthen it, and when the new year comes, we'll reevaluate at that point in time.
Were all 5 doctors saying that he didn't need surgery?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did he see the same guy in Cleveland that he had the operation?
He saw the 2 experts on the field, or the people that have that operated on the shoulder previously, and they're best in the U.S., I'm told. So we'll go with the best.
And is there any correlation? So in 2019 he had the surgery. So
no.
But it's the same shoulder, correct?
Same shoulder.
Okay.
No correlation at all. Totally different type of injury. Totally different. Like, it's an injury that doesn't happen a lot in hockey. That's why I'm not as well versed. Sometimes when you talk about a labrum, or sometimes when you talk about, ACL, MCL, you have a better idea. This one, it's a bit more different.
Have you talked to him? Like, how's he doing mentally?
Good.
That's a huge...
No, you know what? That's a great question. I've talked to him today because I told I would update you. And when he came back from the U.S. on Saturday, I believe, I talked to him at length at that point in time. And first and foremost, want to make sure he's all right as a human being. He's all right to function for the rest of his life. And this injury is not as probably serious as we anticipated, but what's great about Josh, he apologized. It's like, why are you apologizing? Injuries happen in pro sports, and what's unfortunate is I was asking our guys, what's our record with Stützle, Pinto, and Josh in our lineup, and our record is 15-6-1, and we've lost a big piece there.
How do you kind of fill that role the rest of the way?
Well, for us right now, internally we have to look at it. It's something, I think DJ's tried, Shane, he's tried Derek Brassard. I'm sure he's going to try things, and, we're always look to see if we can improve our team, but I think we should have good internal competition. I personally wish that Ridley Gregg would have been playing for a year because he might be someone that could fill in that spot, but we're going to do what's right for his development, and, we'll attest that situation in due point in time.
What's your assessment of the way the team's playing right now, Pierre?
I know our record doesn't indicate it, and I think a lot of us are frustrated by the 4-7 record. For me, I think a few bounces, we'd be in a way better spot. We haven't been, as fortunate. I think, our 7 losses have been by a goal. I would tell you, I was very happy our first 6 games, how we played. I think we lost a game in Buffalo. I think Craig Anderson drank something, so he was 10 years younger. But I was very happy our first 6 games. Not as happy probably the mini game. Even though they say we got 58 shots, we actually got 45 against. Went back and counted them. The coaching staff and myself counted. So the Florida game, probably the Florida trip, not as happy. I think we got a few unfortunate breaks in the Tampa game. But overall, we've lost every game by a goal. I think we're playing hard. I think analytically 5-on-5, to me, the one stat I look a lot at is 5-on-5 expected goals against, the differential. We're 6th in the league right now. Last year we were 30th. So I think there's a lot of positives there. I think that if we're 6th, 5-on-5, that must tell you something maybe is not going as right. I think our power play is 26. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think our penalty killing, 9 out of the 11 games we've let in a goal. So I think there's definitely areas we can improve. But overall, I know, am I elated? No. I think I'm happy how we're playing for the most part. And I think these next 10 games will be very important for our season.
How would you assess your head coach behind the bench after 11 games?
Very happy with him. I think it's the first. I wouldn't say very happy because we're 4-7, but I'm happy with the job that DJ's done, his staff has done. Obviously, at 4-7, it's a bit tougher. I think it's the first time that we've given him a team that can compete for the playoffs. So we're gonna. One thing about Pierre Dorion is loyal. Pierre Dorion is very loyal. I think DJ's done a good job. He's shown that he can win. I'm not giving votes of confidence and everything. I think that's foolish. DJ's our coach. He's going to be our coach. I have faith with how this team plays under DJ. There are some things that, we've had some defensive zone breakdowns, but that's just not on the D. Sometimes it's the 5 guys in your own end. There's no going around that. But I got a lot of faith in DJ Smith being the coach of this team.
Do you think there has to be accountability to the players, too?
I think there has to be accountability to everyone, Bruce, myself included. I think there has to be accountability for the GM. There has to be accountability for the coaching staff. The only people that don't need any accountability are our fans. They've been great. Like that atmosphere, the first game of the year was, I had shivers. I got shivers now thinking about it. I think when you think about, I wasn't here. I guess everyone saw that I was going to Winnipeg on Thursday, but I watched the game afterwards, and the fans giving a standing ovation to Cam Talbot after he makes a great saves, 2-man shorthanded. I think our fans are really behind us this year. You can tell when I have people ask me for tickets all the time. That means they want to come to game and they're behind this team. So I think accountability starts with me. There's no doubt about that. Then I think it transfers to our management group, coaching staff, players. But I think it's everyone in this organization needs to be held accountable.
I think the elephant in the room, though, is Thomas Chabot, and he's struggled. Is he trying to do too much? Is it?
Well, I think that's more a question for DJ, but I think as with Thomas and other players, I think they all know they can play better. But I think it's not just on Thomas.
Can you explain what you were doing with Bernard Docker this weekend?
Yeah, I always leave it up to DJ. We possibly had a player that wasn't going to play. So, we carried 6D for a few games, and then we just thought if someone was going to play, it was going to be him. And I leave those decisions up to DJ. I've said that ever since I've been here. When Guy Boucher was here, I let him decide who the players were. We just felt that Bernard Docker was possibly a guy that if one of our 6D couldn't play, he was going to play. And I believe he'll be playing against Vancouver, according to what DJ has told me.
At the beginning of the season, you compared the Alex Formanton contract to Brady Tkachuk, and just that you hadn't reached an end. Where are things at right now?
I think both parties know that we have a December 1st timeline, and from there's nothing else to report.
It's coming up, though. Are things accelerating at all?
Nothing else to report.
Can I ask you a little bit about your pursuit for another defenseman, and where's that at right now? I think in the summer you said, I think we need another defenseman, no secret. 11 games in, how would you assess that?
I think it's not probably the right answer to give you, but it's the honest answer to give you. Finding defensemen is the toughest thing to do for a general manager. It's no matter what anyone tries to tell you, it is the toughest thing. And the price sometimes to give up is not worth it. I don't think I've never said that we're a team that's going to be vying for the Stanley Cup this year, and to give up what possibly some defensemen on the market are, the return, it's not like Alaska or Pro Scouts or Ryan or Trent or even Tim, and I'll say, what do you think? And it's always unanimous no. So do we need another defenseman? I'll tell you one thing. I've been pretty impressed about how Jake Sanderson's fit into our top four. Arguably, we could say for a guy that's played about 11 NHL games that he's fit in pretty good. So I think that's a bonus. Did I think he was going to be that good? No, not right away, but yes, down the road. So I think collectively, at times we just got to bear down on our own end, and that comes from the forwards, the defense, goaltender making the right side of it at the right time.
Are you hopeful?
We'll take one more.
Are you hopeful that some of the younger guys like Lassie Thompson, JBD, maybe even Jacob Larson are going to kind of grow into those positions in the future?
Well, obviously, JBD is one of them. Lassie Thompson's another one. Max Gannett's another one. We got Tyler Clevin at University of North Dakota, who we have high expectations for. But it's the most difficult position to step in the NHL as defense, because you're the last line of defense before you get to goaltending. And when a forward makes a mistake, not many people talk about it. When a defense makes some mistakes, especially in Canada, it seems to be magnified, and it's everywhere that you see it. So for us, overall, I'm not going to tell you that we're actively searching, but internally, it's going to come a time where some of these guys are going to be knocking on the door, and if they come here and they're the best players, they're going to play. And probably that's the best way to answer it.
Do you think you just need to get back to some consistency?
Yeah, well, the consistency of winning streaks is great. Yeah. Those are really good. The consistency of losing streaks aren't very good. But again, I know we're 4-7. And, there was a lot of frustration the other night after we lost to Philly, another game that we felt we could have won. But it's not like we're getting outplayed every game. I'll agree. Like, Florida was not pretty to watch. Tampa, there was a lot of penalties, and it's very rare I talk to the referee in chief, but I did after that game. So overall, we've played a lot of teams that were in the playoffs. We played some. Vegas was not in the playoffs, but they're probably going to be in the playoffs this year. And we've stayed with them. 5-on-5, we're playing good hockey. I think we can't be – we want to win. But right now, we're only 11 games in. These next 10 games are very important, and they're important for our season. And let's just see what comes out of it in the next 10 games.
That's good. Do you have an update? Sorry, just on Artem Zub. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Artem practiced or skated again today. Possibility. He's got to practice with us first. Once he practices, then I think and there's that possibility could happen at the end of the week. Okay. So he's got to practice, and then once he's ready for game shape, he'll be ready to go in.
So maybe Saturday at Philly?
Well, right now I got to find out how it went today. I didn't know yet.
Okay.
Him and I have long, extended conversations about life.
Yeah.
No, not true. So I'll find out more from our medical staff how today went, and that they said today would be a very good indication about where and when his return would be.